Welcome to Academic Guru's Tutoring Thursday, where we answer all of your high school, college, and university questions. If you would like your question to be featured on next week's Tutoring Thursday, please submit your questions to questions@academicgurusinc.com. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay current with all of our new videos.
Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about equations of lines. So let's get to our first problem. It says select the equation of the line parallel to the equation y equals negative 2x minus 7 and that passes through the point 3 and 1. Alrighty, so this is one of the most commonly asked questions in this chapter, and frankly a lot of students just don't understand this question thoroughly, and ultimately they get it wrong on their test. So before I even tackle this problem, let's talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. So a parallel line looks like this. Let me draw it. Okay, so these are called parallel lines, okay? They continue to go forever and ever, so they never cross each other, they never intersect each other, they just keep going forever, okay? So this side goes to positive infinity, and the other side goes to negative infinity, alright? Now what's unique about the slope of the parallel lines is the fact that the slopes are the same. So you can actually naturally tell that the slopes are the same. So let me give you an example. So if we have something like y equals 2x plus 5, and then we want to find the equation that's parallel to this line, we can ultimately say that the slope is just going to be 2x. So y equals 2x. Okay? So the slopes of parallel lines are always going to be the same. Okay? Now let's talk about perpendicular lines. Okay? With perpendicular lines, things are not the same. They're a bit different. So a perpendicular line would look like something like this. Okay? So you're gonna get 90-degree angles in all sides. So this is pretty much the sign that represents a 90-degree angle. Okay? Now, this is where it gets a bit tricky, so pay careful attention. The slope of a perpendicular line is inverse reciprocal to the original slope of the equation. Okay? So let me give you an example. So let me actually write it. So the slope is inverse and reciprocal. Okay, so if I have something like y equals 2x plus 5 again, okay, the first thing that I need to do is I need to take a look at my slope and inverse it. So inverse of 2x is just going to be 1 over 2x, okay, and the reciprocal of 1 over 2x, that's just going to be negative 1 over 2x. So we're essentially just going to tag a negative sign to our fraction. Okay? And that's pretty much all it is to perpendicular lines. So just remember this part. Slopes of perpendicular lines are inverse reciprocal. Okay? So I hope you guys have a better understanding now from parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So let's get to our first problem. Okay, so now our problem says select the equation of the parallel line to the equation y equals negative 2x minus 7 and that passes through the point 3 and 1. Okay, so first of all we can solve this problem using the point slope formula. So actually let's start with that. Okay, so the point slope formula says y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, so now this is just going to be my x1, this point is going to be my y1. Alright, so let's plug in everything now. So let me pick a different color. So I'm going to have y minus, my y1 is just going to be 1 equals my slope. Since I have a parallel line, the slope is just going to be -2. So I'm going to have a -2 times x minus, my x1 is just going to be 3. Okay, so let's just simplify this a bit more. So we're going to have y equals, we're going to move this -1 to the other side, so it's going to be -2 times x minus 3. Okay, we're going to have a positive 1 since we're moving, and since it's negative and we're moving it to the other side, so we're going to have +1. Okay, so let's distribute this -2 into our parentheses, so we're going to get y equals -2 times x. Okay, we're going to get -2x, and -2 times -3, we're going to get +6 plus 1. So our final answer would be y equals -2x plus 7. Okay, so let's see, y equals -2x plus 7. So it's our first choice. So there you have it for this problem. I'm going to get to the second problem in just a second. Alrighty, so we're back now, and let's get to our second problem. So it says, what is the equation of the line perpendicular to 2x plus y equals to 0 that passes through the point 2 and 2? Now, this problem is unbelievably tricky. So in this problem, we have to do some modifications before we actually solve the problem. So notice that 2x plus y equals 0, it does not follow our standard formula, which is y equals mx plus b. So these two don't match out, and if we try to solve the problem this way, we're going to get the wrong answer. So let's modify this so it looks just like our standard formula. So in order to do that, we need to move this 2x into the other side of the equation. Okay, so we have 2x plus y equals 0, and then we need to move this 2x to the other side. So this is a positive 2x, then we move it to the other side, it's going to become negative. So we're going to have y equals, okay, I'm just going to ignore this 0, so we're going to get y equals -2x. Now we can use the point slope formula to get our answer. So let's get to that. We have y minus y1, make sure I have some space here, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, and then I'm going to make this point to be my x1, and then this point to be my y1. So now let's plug in our points. So we have y minus my y1 is just going to be 2 equals, let's get to the slope. So this is our equation right now. This is what we need to look at. We have to disregard this equation. So we have y equals -2x, alright? And then since we have a perpendicular line, okay, the slope is just going to be inverse reciprocal, okay? So the inverse of -2 is just going to be -1/2, and reciprocal of that is just going to be +1/2, okay? So we're going to get 1/2 times x minus x1, which is 2. So let's simplify this a bit more. We're going to have y equals, I'm going to move this -2 to the other side. So since it's a negative, it's going to become positive. So we're going to have 1/2 times x minus 2 plus 2. Okay, so I'm going to have y equals 1/2 times x. I'm going to have 1/2x, and then 1/2 times -2. I'm going to get -1, so it's going to be -1 plus 2. And now finally I'm gonna get y equals 1 over 2x plus 1 as my final answer. So let's see, it's not the first one, it's not the second, there we go, it's the third one. So there you have it for this problem. You know, just always make sure that when you're solving these problems, take a look at your equation, and if it doesn't follow the general formula, then you have to change it so it looks like this formula. Otherwise, you're going to get the wrong answer. So just make sure on that, and that's pretty much it for this video. So I thought to make a little cheat sheet for you guys to make this even easier. If you have a parallel line, you're going to have the same slope. So for example, if we have something like 2x plus 1, your slope is just going to be the same. That's pretty much all it is to it. If you have a perpendicular line, make sure to use the inverse reciprocal formula. So if you have y equals 2x plus 1, inverse of 2 is just going to be 1 over 2, and then since we have positive 2, when we do the reciprocal, we're going to get negative 1 over 2. Okay, and make sure your equation follows the format y equals mx plus b. If it doesn't, then you know you have to change it. So that's pretty much, sums up this video. Also, sorry if I said too much okay in this video. Usually I solve the problems first and then make a video about them, but since in this video I was just solving the problem as I was making the video, so saying okay is just my way of confirming my work. So sorry about that. Be sure to subscribe to our channel to stay current with our upcoming videos, and good luck!
Thank you for tuning into our Tutoring Thursday channel. If you enjoyed watching this video and found it helpful, please give us a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. We would love to hear from you. Until next week's Tutoring Thursday, happy studying.